Hello. Not all SJWs support my conviction, despite the fact that a lot of them really, really don't like me. They're very, very against the idea of me going to prison over a joke. However, some SJWs are applauding my conviction because they're too stupid to realise that these laws against speech that they want put in place will one day be used against them, and when that day finally comes, and they're the ones getting locked up for the things that they say, I'm going to be the one that's waiting for them in the showers, with a long, girthy dose of hindsight, and I'm going to show them what fascism really looks like, and fascism looks like a Pringles tube with veins. What, you think after everything I've put Sue through, she's still with me for my looks and personality? Nah. One of the things that I wanted to avoid doing was making reply videos to all the SJWs that were cheering about the fact that I got convicted, but when you make such promises to yourself, something always comes along that's just so delicious looking that you just can't help but take a bite. And judging by his rotundness, I think the subject of this video has a similar problem.
I've had people saying like, oh, what do you think about this guy? I've even forgotten what he's called. Like, he's fuckhead McHitler dog. I don't know.
Don't worry, I've already copyrighted that.
You know, there's a guy who calls himself a comedian.
What's for the air quotes, as if, like, I'm not really a comedian? Like, I make comedy videos. 90% of the stuff I produce is to make people laugh. And I've even performed on stage with a microphone in my hand to a crowd of people, making them laugh and getting paid for it. So I'm not sure what else I really have to do to qualify.
Who put a video on YouTube where he says he's taught his dog to do a Hitler salute when he says gas the Jews or whatever. Now, he is actually being convicted of a crime in the UK of, and I forget exactly what it is.
I forget exactly what it is, but pardon me while I make an entire video on something that I've just admitted I've done no research on.
But it's about being, sort of anti-Semitic, whatever. Now, okay, 2 points. First, I think his conviction is stupid as fuck. Because the video's not even that extreme. I mean, seriously, if this guy is going to be convicted of a crime for a lame attempt at what he calls a joke, when, quite honestly, based on all available evidence, he is fucking anti-Semitic.
Even though I know that I'm personally not anti-Semitic, I hope you know that me being anti-Semitic is through no choice of my own. The courts were kind enough to make that decision for me.
And he thinks it's okay to make Holocaust jokes and kill the Jews jokes.
It's because I think it's okay to make jokes about anything and everything. It's one of the beautiful things that make comedy what it is. What it was.
But if you're going to convict him of a crime, there are literally hundreds of people who should be on fucking death row for the race and religious hate they preach. So I do think his prosecution is fucking stupid. But I also think he's a piece of shit. I'm not going to champion him.
And I'm grateful to hear that, because if there is one thing that's definitely not going to help my case is if I'm being championed by some dribbling window licker.
And that's what the thing. I refuse to be a hypocrite, because people say, you must be opposed to free speech. And I will make 2 points. And the first one will be simply that, from the stupid shit you're saying, yes, I am opposed to free speech.
Don't worry, we gathered that.
Second, when these people talk about free speech, it's absolutely fucking meaningless, because it really comes down to, I should be able to say anything and never have to take responsibility for it.
No, that's not what free speech is. There always will be social consequences to the things that you say, because everyone has the right to comment on the things that you say, be it in the positive or the negative. What free speech is that the government is not allowed to arrest you or stifle you based on your opinions or the things that you say. The same as employers should not be able to fire you based on your opinions or the things that you say, as long as it's outside the workplace. That is what freedom of speech is. But it's okay that you didn't know that. We've already gathered that you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Now, even in countries that don't have any sort of free speech statutes in their laws or constitution. And the one that people are always calling to is the US with the First Amendment. Congress won't infringe freedom of speech. What that means is, according to the US Constitution, Congress should not pass a law that limits someone's freedom of speech. You shouldn't be able to be prosecuted for things you say. But there are limits to that. You can't defame someone.
That's very true. You can't. However, in this video, didn't you just defame me by falsely labelling me as an anti-Semite?
You can't incite people to violence. There are always limits, and the people who just spout free speech usually have just no grasp of reality.
Some people also don't have any self-awareness
at all. And like this same guy with the fucking Hitler dog who goes, "Oh, I'm a martyr for free speech."
I've literally never said that. Other people have said it about me, but I've never said that about myself.
He's been preaching that fucking Antifa should be prescribed as a terrorist group. Anyone who is a member of Antifa or sympathises with them should be jailed. Fuck you! You don't believe in free speech, you fucking cunt!
I can't tell if the red on your shirt is blood from the period that you're clearly on, or if you've just finally cut yourself on all that edge. I'm going to address the Antifa petition right now because people keep misrepresenting my stance on it on purpose, because it's the only way that they can actually have an argument against it. Antifa are an inherently violent group. They falsely label people as Nazis and fascists to dehumanise them so that they can have some kind of guilt-free justification for inflicting violence upon them. And from what we've seen massively is the vast majority of the people that Antifa assaults, threatens and deplatforms don't even come anywhere near being an actual Nazi or a fascist. They are violent thugs willing to use violence on citizens. This is something that has been proven time and time again, even by their own admission. They use violence on citizens to further a political goal, which is the literal definition of terrorism. Antifa are fucking terrorists. And don't give me the whole, but the far right are doing this, the far right are doing that. Two wrongs don't make a right. Anyone who uses violence on citizens to further a political goal is a cunt. Just because other people are doing it as well doesn't mean suddenly it's okay for you to do it. And the fact that you can point out this shitty behaviour in other people and acknowledge it is wrong when other people are doing it, that just means that you personally know that what you're doing is wrong. You just try and justify it through the whole, but we're the good guys. If Antifa, as a group, were simply people that wanted to present ideas and debate, then I absolutely would support their right to speak. Even now, when they're just literally fucking terrorists, I still support their right to speak. What I don't support is them adopting violent tactics in order to push through their ideas instead of just acknowledging that their ideas are bad. I don't want to stop them speaking. I want to stop them hurting people. And we tried asking them nicely. It didn't work.
You just believe in you should be able to do whatever obnoxious shit you want and never pay any price for it.
Like I said earlier, I fully expect social consequences for the things that I say. What I don't want is just to be thrown in jail over the things that I say. I don't think that's too much to ask. But since pretty much your entire channel is you being angry and obnoxious and using rude words, I guess it means that if a day ever comes where you get thrown in prison for the things that you say, that you don't get to complain.
But anyone you disagree with should be shut the fuck down. So, fuck you, because I am at least honest.
You've lied an awful lot in this video, but okay.
I think there are limits to any concept of free speech. When you are actively inviting violence and hatred of groups, when you are actively lying and defaming groups, you can't get away with that. Yes, and I will come back to Hitler Dog Guy. His prosecution is dumb as fuck, as far as I'm concerned. But I'm not going to champion him. He's fucking garbage.
A real garbage human.
He's hanging out with Tommy Robinson. I don't know if he hung out with cunts like that all along, or if he's just decided to these days.
Did you know that if you agree with someone on one thing, it means you agree with them on everything?
But I think that tells me all I need to know about him.
You can tell this man puts a hell of a lot of time and effort into the research behind his videos when he judges the entire character of a man on the single fact that he knows about him. Who's this Adolf Hitler guy? He was a vegetarian, really loved animals. Oh, he seems nice.
He's a piece of shit. I'm not gonna fucking champion him. I'm going to be really open about what I think is important. Being a vaguely fucking decent human is important. So his dumb video, there's no way he should have been prosecuted under criminal statute for it. Sure, if a website wants to say, oh, we want nothing to do with you, we're not hosting your shit, you're banned off our platform, that's completely legitimate. Charging him with a crime is fucking stupid. But also championing him as some paragon of free speech, he's a cunt. He's a liar. He's a hypocrite. He's spineless. He's a piece of fucking shit. I'm not going to champion him. I mean, yeah, just as an objective thing, he shouldn't have been prosecuted. But he's no paragon of free speech. He's a fucking prick.
Calm down. Calm down. I got you covered. I got you covered. See? There you go. Now, while you're trying to find your vagina in amongst all those thigh folds, let's go back to where you called me a hypocrite. This video has been cut down because the entire thing isn't about me, but I want to go back to something that you said earlier in the video before you started talking about me, where you defended someone for making a joke.
And this week, Corey Bernardi's been getting his knickers in a knot because a comedy show on the ABC called someone in his Conservative Party a cunt. It was a fucking joke.
But even though my video was clearly a joke, you didn't recognise it as such, because it didn't fit your narrative. You also said that defaming someone shouldn't be allowed, but you defamed me by falsely labelling me as an anti-Semite.
Quite honestly, based on all available evidence, he is fucking anti-Semitic.
That seems extremely hypocritical of you. And you know how we should treat hypocrites. You said so yourself in this very video.
But when someone's a fucking hypocrite, no, fucking close the book, not dealing with that piece of shit, they're beneath contempt.
Did you find your vagina yet?
And when you read about the case and the way he's launched his defence, he's a fucking liar and a hypocrite.
You're going to have to explain how that is, because probably less than 1% of my defence actually made it into the papers. The only things that they included were the things that they could twist into making the biggest outrage, because it's the papers and it's what they do, but you don't actually know what my defence was because it wasn't public knowledge. So you don't know anything about my defence, because you're full of shit. Full of so much shit that it's actually affected your BMI.
And I have no time for that shit. So, yeah, at least when I had someone recently sort of say to me, when they were talking to me about what I do, and I go, I make videos and I talk about news of the day and politics and whatnot. Oh, so you try to present shit objectively? And I went, fuck no. Fuck no. I don't do stuff objectively. I tell you what I think is important. I tell you what I think is right and wrong.
Never in my life have I heard such a good description of SJW ideology. Feels over reels, boys. Feels over reels.
And I'll round out now by saying pretty much anyone who does something who says they're being objective is one of two things. A fucking liar, or they're pandering to people.
All scientists are liars who are pandering to people.
And I don't want to talk to a scientist. Y'all motherfuckers lying and getting me pissed.
And particularly when I look at YouTube and I see people going, I'm not going to tell you which political party I support because I'm being objective. No, you're fucking pandering to cunts to get views. And the one thing I will never do is pander. When I think someone's a worthless piece of shit, I am going to say so.
Stunning and brave.
And I don't want them as viewers. I don't want them watching my videos. I don't want their support.
You tell them, Chunkee, the only support that you need is a good push-up bra.
I will not get support at any cost. When someone's garbage, I'm going to say they're garbage. And, free speech is a fucking fallacy anyway.
Free speech is a fallacy.
So I'm not going to ascribe to, yes, people should be able to say anything, anytime. In one way, I kind of agree with that, but it's just always touted by people who don't actually live it.
The people who don't have free speech are the ones that are always campaigning for free speech. Well, who would have thought?
Virtually every single person I've ever gone to go, free speech is the most important person ever, comes down really heavy on anyone they disagree with. They try to get people lose their jobs, banned from public life, banned from various social media platforms. They're fucking liars.
You mean the entire far left's tactics? You mean like just what they did today, where they managed to false flag Tommy Robinson off of Twitter? Yes, I absolutely agree with you. The far left are the biggest threat that's ever existed to free speech.
Pretty much anyone I've ever seen who said, I'm all about free speech, is a fucking lying hypocrite and the worst sort of scum on the planet, and fuck them all.
The people who lived in Nazi Germany or in communist Russia, or the people who currently live now in Saudi Arabia and North Korea, a lot of them really, really would have liked free speech, and a lot of them have actually been executed for their right to free speech. So obviously that means that they are lying hypocrites, the worst scum on the planet, and fuck them all.
It's Count Dankula on YouTube. Everybody should subscribe.